Brand awareness is how familiar other people are with your brand and how well they recognize it. And that is really what I'm all about creating for you, is brand awareness. So how do you actually create brand awareness for your business? So the first thing you need to do is you need to go back a few steps and you need to go and get yourself some clarity. So this is about getting really clear on who you work with, why you work with those people, why you do what you do, what it is that you do, what really matters to you, how you deliver that, and how you can communicate that message really effectively. And getting clear on all of that stuff, that's part of your brand strategy. And I recommend that you work on your entire brand strategy and get really clear on everything. But if you only have time to do a bit of it, those are the things that I recommend that you do. Just get as clear as you can, really focused on what you do, why it matters, and who you do it for, so that you can talk to those people with understanding and intention, which brings me up to the next point, which is about showing up intentionally. So when you have worked on clarifying what your brand is all about, what you stand for, what matters, who matters, why you work with those people, what it is that you deliver, and how that actually benefits them, you can start to show up with more intention. And that intention comes from the clarity. It just arrives because you've worked on gaining clarity in the places that matter, so that when you show up, you are showing up knowing who you're talking to. You're showing up knowing why you want to talk about what you do. You're showing up knowing why what you do matters. You're showing up talking about why what you do matters to the people that you want to work with. So it's just about really peeling back all those layers and getting so certain on what it is that you're all about that communicating it becomes so much easier, and therefore being intentional when you show up is easier too. Because when you are intentional, that means that you are thinking about your brand and you're thinking about how you can create awareness of your brand. So you have all these different touch points in your business. You might write an Instagram post or make something like a blog post, or you might make a video, or you might set up a page on your website, or you might hand someone a business card or give someone a leaflet, or multiple different things that happen in your business every day. And each of those is your opportunity to show up intentionally with that clarity that helps give you that intention. So it really does help to go back to the beginning. Really hope that's getting across. The clearer you can be, the easier the rest of this will be, because everything else will just follow and flow from that clarity that you have created for yourself in your business. So when you're showing up intentionally, you're showing up with a purpose. You're showing up thinking, this is who I want to talk to. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to achieve in wherever it is that you are showing up in that moment. So you are able to be really clear when you are putting your message out there. I was networking this morning, and a lady sat down opposite me. It was speed networking, and she said, I know you. She said, you are a brand person and you do X, Y, and Z. And I can't remember her exact words, but she actually did say something along the lines of creating awareness so that you are consistent, with what you're putting out there. And I was like, hey, this is great. She's picked that up. She knows what it is that I do, even though I hadn't uttered a word other than hello. I thought that was brilliant, because that shows that, what I'm putting out there is being intentional, and my brand, the brand awareness that I'm building is working. And I would hope the same for you. And that just happens through being clear and showing up with intention, and showing up with that purpose, and showing up with that clarity behind you, so that when you do whatever it is that you do to show up, you've got that there to support you and push you forward. It makes it a lot easier to create content, because you know more of the kind of thing that you need to be creating, more kind of thing that you need to be saying, how you can serve those people. So it really helps just to go back and do that. And then when you're showing up, you are going to have thought as well during the clarity part, not just about the who and the why and the what and the how, but you're going to have used that to help you create some visuals which you can then use in a consistent way. Because when you are showing up intentionally, you don't want to show up intentionally talking to your ideal client and talking about what you do and talking about why it matters in green and blue and pink and yellow and orange and a different shade of orange and something with polka dots. You want to be consistent. That doesn't mean you have to have just one colour. You can obviously have more than one colour, but it's about having the same colours, the same colour palette that you use, the same fonts that you use, photographs that people recognize of you and of what you do, and maybe your products, whatever it is that you sell, so that when you are putting your content out there, or you are showing up in whatever way you're showing up, you bring in these visual assets along with you that people start to recognize. And this is called near exposure. So if you have near exposure, it means you are showing up over and over and over consistently, and you are going to become familiar to the people who keep seeing you. So, you know, when you go on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and you see posts by people and you see the same colors and the same fonts, and you think, oh, that's such and such as font, that's such and such as color, I'm going to stop and pay attention. Or maybe you don't stop and pay attention, but you can say, oh, they've posted. Maybe you get a quick look at what it is, because maybe it's something so simple you don't need to click on it to get a vague idea. And you're just building that up, that familiarity. And that's mirror exposure. So that familiarity means that people know you better. They know who you are, and they're familiar with you, which is great, because the more familiar they are with you, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you, which is really helpful when it comes further down the line when they're ready for whatever it is that you have to offer them. So we'll cover clarity, we'll cover showing up intentionally. And once you've done that, the next thing you can do to really help build your brand awareness is to work with other people. So this can work in terms of just asking someone to share something that you've created. This can be, you know, oh, could you please share this post? Could you please tag somebody in this post so that more people can get to see it, because it's really valuable information, that kind of thing. It can be, you know, where you tag somebody, you know, maybe you've been to an event and you've got a photograph and you want to tag the people who were at the event in that photograph, and that's sort of springboarding off those people, because then you're not only supporting those people and bringing them to your audience, but they can then share your image and bring you to their audience, which is really, really useful, which is why things like collaborations work really well. Things like guest interviews work really well, and these can work in both directions. Partnering up with people can work really well. Referrals can work really well, because other people are going to talk about you to other people, and that's going to benefit you and them, because they're going to have recommended this amazing service that someone can tap into. So if you've got clarity and you've got intention and you've got some other people that you can work with, and that's going to help build your audience. So say you interview somebody and they are then going to share that interview with their audience. So you're then in front of their audience and they're in front of yours. So it is a two-way process. It's working together. Collaboration is so good for that. And it's really fun. So you can help really build that brand awareness by getting in front of other people who will then go and follow you where you're showing up intentionally and be exposed to you and get to know you. And that's just going to help building up with that brand exposure, so that they know who you are, which is wonderful, because then when they're ready for the thing that you have, they know where to go.